Kels, episode 5, locker room. We are back. Have a look at this beautiful logo. I'm all about
Love it.
Love
Can't
it.
wait.
Yeah, TNG Studios in Torquay. Absolutely setting us up here. Let's go straight into it. Round recap. Giants 55, Firebirds 78. 23-point difference between 7th and 8th. Do you believe it?
I do believe it. And I've been saying for a number of weeks now the Giants are stressing me out. And I can imagine what this is like. I've been in losing teams, so have you. I understand what this feeling's like. So I actually don't want to compound it too much for them because it's already horrible. They don't want to be losing. But it is a real concern, I think, for the league and just finding a way to bridge this gap between what will probably shake out as a top 4 and a bottom 4, and a big goal difference between 7th and 8th. I don't know what they can do to turn this around this season, which is a worry.
A big loss, obviously, Jane Watson out nearly 6 to 8 weeks. Massive news out of there. I was also speaking about Sophie Dwyer and the fact about her Commonwealth Games selection. We spoke about it last week. I spoke about it on air. A lot of people were like, oh, I don't think Stacey really takes too much into SSN form. She's taken other people before. Well, I think she's going to have to in this one because, as I said, I don't know how you can. And on the weekend, she's playing against someone like a Bakewell Doran who, you know what, she should be able to own her position and she couldn't. So that was a great kind of test for her to go, you know what, yeah, you should pick me. Regardless of how my team's performing, I'm still being able to nail my job, but she couldn't.
I just say off that, I think we've also got to remember that Ruby Bakewell Doran got dropped from the Diamonds.
Yeah, she's got a point to prove too.
You know, she's coming out there. She's got a point to prove. But if you're playing against someone who gets dropped from the Diamonds and you can't demolish it, she was better this game, but she had 7 turnovers in the up until the third quarter. I don't really know how many she had after that, but 7 turnovers in 2.5 quarters of netball. Like, that's a lot. And like I said, Ruby Bakewell Doran got dropped from the Diamonds, so it's not like she's coming up against a Karen Berger who will be definitely in the Silver Ferns team.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. Second game on the Saturday was Mavs 48 to Thunderbirds 55. Really low scoring, lowest score for the weekend. Everyone's like an honourable loss for the Mavs. Like, they were so close, they got challenged. But you and I were both there. And once again, I think opportunities and chances went begging. They had time to do it. Shimona Nelson, we've talked up Shimona, how good she is. She really struggles against a Shamira year in, year out. I'm yet to see where there's a contest and Shimona absolutely owns it. But it's like there's just like this mental edge that Shamira has on her. Yeah, Mavs lost their way really and didn't know how to answer it back. There was also really ill-disciplined contacts and play on court from the Mavs. So if this is how they react when they get challenged, I'm unsure that they're really, going to be pushing for those top couple of spots because I'm like, you need to mentally be strong as well as physical to stay in this contest. It's a short season. You can't have little lapses like that because it will cost you against maybe a weaker team later on.
Well, I think the positive that the Mavs can take from this, yes, it's a 3rd loss in a row, but I think the one positive that they can really lean on at the moment is that we have said that the Thunderbirds are the best team in the competition. And the Thunderbirds, after the game, I interviewed 3 different players and they all said that was the most challenged they'd been. So the Mavs take that sentence, turn it into something like we are threatening the top team, the team that basically everyone is saying is the hunted at the moment. No one's getting close to them. We are the closest to them. That's where you can get your confidence. I think that sentence needs to be pinned up in their locker room. We are the team that challenged the top team the most, and ride with that, because the positives at the moment, you're going to have to dig to find them, especially when there's 3 losses in a row and you keep making the same errors. I think that's something that they should definitely lean on.
Then let's turn our attention to the Sunday. We had the Swifts 57 to the Fever 77. Now, a lot of people were like, oh my goodness, I'm shocked with that result. Not so much me. I mean, I think you and I have both mentioned about kind of the brittleness of Swift's defensive lineup. They didn't have a Clow on the weekend. Even with her, we have questioned at times, is this the unit of defensive pressure that's going to take the Swifts to another premiership? Question marks out on that for you and me both. Inexperience really, really showed, and the dominance of that attack end for the Fever, absolute supreme, came out and was just like, you know what? We're just going to keep topping up the scoreboard pressure. Fever looked the goods.
My comment on that and what I have gained the most, and I will put my hand up and say, and I've said this to Fever people as well, I have no idea how you were going to come out this season. There were so many changes. When you lose the likes of a Janelle Fallon-Emard, it is big. So no one knew how they were going to come out. Sasha Glasgow had spent 2 years away from with injury. I put my hand up and say that this is a credit to the Fever environment and the Fever standards, and I can speak to that because I've been involved in it. You can take a player and turn them into something brilliant in that environment if you stick to standards, if you have the goalposts set and this is what we expect. And I think this speaks volumes of Dan Ryan, the coaching staff, and everyone that they've got there, that Sasha Glasgow is having a great year. Romelda Aiken-George, no one knew how she was going to come into this Fever environment. She's putting up unbelievable numbers. I think this speaks more to the structure of the club and what they can do with players. And I feel like I was one of them in a really good environment. I was able to play some of my best netball.
And we've seen that with the Thunderbirds and even the Fever. Sometimes it really does matter the environment that you're in, whether you thrive or not. Unfortunately, if we go back to that Giants chat with the Sophie Dwyer, maybe the environment isn't actually set up for someone like her to thrive. Another point on that was the Cranberg sisters. We saw centre, wing attack. You and I both know how exciting it is to be able to play out on court. I know they've played a couple of times, but maybe this is the year we're actually going to see a bit more consistent play. I mean, it's devastating as a Victorian to see them over in the West getting their opportunities. It would be awesome to see them in one of our Victorian Melbourne teams. But awesome to see, obviously, the sisters back out there playing together and fit and healthy. Vixens, Lightning. Vixens 70, Lightning 59. I mean, Austin, Watson, Weston, they were my 3 standouts across both teams. Austin just in the super shot time, just unbelievable.
7 of 8. 7 of 8.
And also, like, when it can, like, just turns, delivers. She is the best goal attack in the world, by far. Is so creative with the ball out the front. Not only does the volume on the scoreboard as well, but brings other people into the game. I thought Azara Walters' injection was really, really good for the Vixens. In 39 minutes, had like 18 goal assists to 28 feeds. Massive numbers in a short period of time.
I have a question for you, and I've seen a little bit of discourse on X about this, and I don't know. I don't know how I sit with it. So you were there. I want to ask you. Obviously, Gabby Sinclair comes in for her first minutes for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. She comes in at a very critical time. Now, I have confidence that Gabby can come in and turn a game. Was that the right move from Belinda Reynolds when the game was still very much in the balance for a girl to come in off a calf injury, which isn't, like it is an interesting injury. It does stop your training. It does stop your ability to get some rhythm. It's a soft tissue injury, which isn't really a fun one to come back from. Was that the right move to bring Gabby Sinclair on at that time?
Well, when Gabby came on, what they really struggled with was depth on the second phase, because the height that Conan gives is that turn, quick release, and they can get it down the court. That's where they started to struggle. They then couldn't get to the circle edge. They seemed clogged up, like they just didn't have the answers. At the same time as well, there was also, changes in that mid-court. We saw, Mai come out, Mahalia come in. There was other changes that did happen also, in conjunction with like the Sinclair. I don't think Sinclair was the only kind of, reason that they started to fall away, but I do think it was probably the right time to inject her in to actually see what she could do rather than bringing her in the final, 5 minutes of the game and expecting her to win it. So I think bring them in early sometimes, and we see with the Pallavi, they played it a lot differently this weekend, brought her in, got her rhythm, then she started to fire a bit. So yes and no. So yes, I do think a little bit. But then when it wasn't working with her and Danelle, I would have brought Cara back onto goal shooter. Or maybe I would have put a Sinclair to goal shooter, still having Cara there. I'm a little bit disappointed with Danelle in the fact that we continue to see her to go to post. And I don't know what she's being told by the coaches, but my view on it is you're not the 2-point threat. So please stop putting them up, because you're not accurate enough to then, especially when there's no other rebounding power. Like when Gabby came on, that's not your shot. That's her shot. Get under the rebound. So yeah. I don't know the messaging with Lightning. I think they needed to inject a Gabby. She didn't really provide the spark that they wanted. I think they should have then moved Conan to a goal shooter. So still they're playing around with their combinations. I believe they've still got all the right puzzle pieces. They're just not executing it at the right moments at the right time.
It's the clarity around that 2-point shot, I think, that you desperately need. And to me, it sort of looked like two players that clearly haven't played at SSN level in a 2-point time, which is fine, but that should be wrinkled out in training. I think for me, I love the call of either a Gabby or a Cara, especially when you're missing that second phase depth, because what that provides is if you can't get that second phase depth, or if you're driving there and you can't deliver that ball, Cara can come out.
Yes.
Cara can punch out as a release point from goal shooter. Gabby can do that as well. I think the other thing to note with a Gabby Sinclair coming on against the Vixens, Jo Weston is the kind of player, and I've said this, that licks her lips against someone who probably doesn't love the physicality. Now, Gabby is brilliant with time and space, but when she is coming back from injury one and has someone absolutely on her hammer like a Jo Weston loves to do, I just felt like, oh, that was a recipe for this is going to be really difficult.
Yeah, the human backpack. I mean, it's a tough task on anyone. Last thing I'll say about Cara. She's a diamond goal shooter, right? She's playing goal attack. She's shown us in the first couple of rounds that she can really own this goal attack position. Have we forgotten that she can go back? I just don't think she's not the one you're pulling off. She's not the change. Like put Gabby on at goal attack, but then bring Cara back onto goal shooter because you need her. And I even found that when Cara went off, that Watson connection along the transverse line or just even in that goal circle, it's like she lost her rudder and she started to lose her way a little bit as well because there just wasn't that kind of punch and kind of really good partnership. That's what I'd like to see from the Lightning. Another thing to consider about a human backpack, just to go back one game, was Fran Williams. You love Fran. The footage of her on Helen Housby, I mean, it's every coach's dream. That is exactly what you want from someone who is a teammate of yours when you're representing your country. But then you know what? Loyalty is pushed aside. I am here in my green army dress and you're here in red. I am going to wear you like a glove. Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, no, and I can attest to that. Fran was one of my least favorite opponents to come up against at training because she was just annoying. Her knees would corky my thighs. Like she was just right there on you the whole time. So I've experienced that level of Fran Williams. I was laughing my head off. I thought it was great.
Now let's just have a quick recap on your blinder. Your blinder was Firebirds' first win. Well, they didn't just win. They won by 23. Amazing scene. Such a good feel moment, I think, for the Firebirds. And it's great to see a team that's really struggled kind of find their groove. So hopefully they can start to take that into the next couple of games. I said Lightning to win and prove that they're real title contenders. They were once again there for nearly 3/4 of it, but the consistency just not there. And like we just mentioned with those changes, just not enough for me. So still yet to get a blinder here for me. So
I was gonna say,
maybe don't back me in. Back you in all the way.
Are you on 0? I'm on 2 of 3.
Okay, so you're a pass mark. ATAR result terms. I'm happy to call to get my results because I'm under the 20%. Real bad. Let's have a go-to look at trending news. Men's and Opens mixed nationals are on in Perth. Now, something that came out of this, I just want to go back to when we were living together in Richmond and we would watch RuPaul's Drag Race. We loved it. It was such a cool thing. You know, we'd create our own little, diva names. But the footage that came out of this, it was for the Victorians men's team. It was the wing attack. Deepak rolls out to the pocket next minute, like death drop, does the splits, kind of like so dramatic. My favorite thing in this video, which I will attach, is the umpire that literally is just like, I'm meant to be here professional, but like this is the greatest thing I've ever seen on the netball court. Like, I mean, you and I have both had friends that come through the men's netball pathway. I think netball is a sport where the women are the lead and the men are following. So I love that we get to shout out to them. As I said, I hope it goes viral because it's just amazing. You're not seeing that on the floorboards of SSN, but you can definitely see it, obviously, at men's and Opens mixed nationals.
I'm gonna need Maddie Hay to do that next game. Thanks. But I couldn't agree with you more. I am over in Perth at the moment, and the hype around it is awesome, especially within the WA netball community. There are so many people going out and watching and getting behind the WA team, which is the Thunder. But I am loving hearing all about it, and I just think it's awesome for the league. So put the link in there, and we'll get the splits to go viral.
Yeah, there's definitely no adductor flexibility here for me to be able to do that. Another incredible thing that I think happened this week, Kira Austin. Now, we've seen players really start to develop their brands away from the court, whether it's a clothing line or, whether it's a little side hustle business, whatever it is. But Kira Austin has created Under Austin. She's launched a performance period undershort design to help girls feel comfortable playing sport during menstruation. Like, unbelievable stuff. I mean, this is a huge area that the Players Association have been really pushing for quite a while in educating players about their fertility, about the stress and demand that comes on your body when you are training for the elite game and the amount of hours. We had teammates that when we were playing that would just not have a period for so many months and just thought that was normal. Like, how good, I don't have to deal with this whilst I'm trying to perform at the elite level. But I love this. I feel like this is just totally different space. Kira Austin's a real passionate advocate for this. So for her to create something that is hopefully going to allow women to stay and girls to stay in the game during some of the toughest times, of a month, as part of your cycle. I love it. I'm all about it, Kira Austin. Like, congratulations. What a huge, huge thing for her to launch.
Yeah, I'm massive on women, supporting women and empowering them to continue in sport. And I think this is an avenue. It was sort of like when Maddie Proud wrote the book. It was, discussing those emotional themes and writing a book for kids around her experiences. And we've seen a number of players then write a book. I feel like this is a completely different avenue and one that's really critical. It's sort of like when the Netball Australia Players Association, came together and got a partnership with Monash IVF. And I feel like that is such a big part of our sport. And you mentioned it, both you and I have had our eggs frozen just because the stress and the stuff that we had to go through as netballers. I lost my period for a period of time, and both you and I were really concerned about our fertility and making sure that we wanted to set ourselves up to be able to have families. So I just think what netball are doing at the moment in the female health space, congratulations to Kira for really being a pioneer in that space. I think it's massive. And also to the Players Association for partnering with Monash. I just think it's a really big topic that when you and I were starting out wasn't discussed. So it's great to see it moving in that direction.
We might be being challenged by other female codes, but I still think netball paved the way in a lot of other areas, especially in this female health space. Speaking of female health, Steph Fretwell welcomes a future diamond into the world, Hallie, little baby girl. So exciting. Congratulations to Steph. Massive congratulations. I don't know why, but I just thought she'd had it and I missed it. But then all of a sudden, she's welcomed her baby girl into the world. So congratulations to her. But this is the breaking, trending news. It is literally just come through our inbox on the emails. Katrina Rore is coming back to SSN. She's going to be the replacement player at the Swifts for Sarah Clow. Now, Sarah Clow managing a quad injury. So this could be a sustained amount of time away and off the court. Not great, especially in a major competition year for a Sarah Clow. But another Kiwi, a former, world champion, comes over and, is going to hit the court running. So you know what? Maybe that is the experience that the Swifts need in their defensive lineup to kind of really shake things up and go, you know what, we do not count us out yet.
I love this. The only thing I have to say about this is I don't know how these people do it. My Achilles, knees, everything just screamed reading that. But good on those players. Casey Copula last year being able to come back and return to the court and give. I just think it's such a credit to these women being able to turn up and do this. It's not easy getting on a professional netball court. Like, let me tell you, that level, that speed, that pace. Kudos to her. I'm really excited to see how she goes, and I love it. We can put this up as well. I just screenshot her story, and it was a picture of the announcement, and she wrote, "Why not?" And you know what? Power to the women, power to the older women. Maybe I could make a return. Who knows?
Well, I tell you what, I'm definitely not making a return, but I'll be right there supporting you if that's on your bingo card, Kelsey Brown. Let's have a look forward to round 5 preview. Swifts versus Vixens. It's the Sergeant McInnes Cup. It's up in Sydney. Always love this clash. It's obviously got so much history with nationals, junior pathways. Love it. Thunderbirds and Giants. That's going to be a tough one, especially in Adelaide, especially where the Giants sit. And then on the Sunday, we've got Lightning versus Mavs and Fever versus Firebirds. Take us through your blinder and your game of the round.
My blinder is definitely going to be Riley Batcheldor up against her old team of the Lightning. Now, she had a really great performance last time out, and I think she's been building into this season. And in our first episode of The Locker Room, you and I sat down and spoke about how she is going to be a key for Mavs this year. She was recruited to not be an impact player, to not come off the bench, to play 60 minutes, hopefully, for the Mavs in that goal attack position, which is a very different task to what she's done previous years.
Mm-hmm.
I think she has it in her, and I really want to see Riley come out with this ferociousness in her eyes saying, this is what you lost, and this is why I've gone to another team, and this is why I could be so much more than what you thought I could be. So my blinder, I will say I'm about 60-40 on whether this can actually happen. It's not like an ATN where I was like 95% sure. I'm like 60-40, but I think this is an awesome opportunity for Riley Batcheldor to go back to her home state. And yeah, I just think this is going to be a key one for her. We've put a lot of pressure on her, but it's only because I think that she can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, because I need to get one on the board, I am choosing the Thunderbirds to hit potentially another record at home,
Okay.
whether that's crowd, whether that's a quarter score. I mean, it really, we've said it enough. Fear for the Giants. It's not going to be the homecoming for Lucy Austin that she wants, but she could be the thing that kind of motivates them to get going, because there's so much emotion going back home. So hopefully she can stand as tall as she is and really have a good one. But I do think the Thunderbirds are definitely going to show exactly why, you know what, we are the ones to hunt down. You've got to try and beat us.
Will they crack 100? Would they
No.
crack 100?
Nah, okay. I reckon they'll crack 80. Yeah.
I'm going to say 90 just because.
Woo! But they've even talked about their 2-point shot game and they haven't even implemented it. This is where I'd love to see them start to try it. I know they might want to hold their cards close to their chest, but you're going to have to try it at some point, and why not do it in maybe a match that you're not challenged? Now, the only thing I'm going to say is last year, the only team to beat Thunderbirds twice were the Giants when they were sitting at the bottom. So there might be this little bit of kind of like, I don't know, Giants just find a way. But
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. Last year they had JLP. So
fair. Yeah. And the
Love
game of the
you.
round.
Love you.
But no. All right. Well, I'm going to try and get a blinder on the board. Thunderbirds. You're going to absolutely kill it. And the game of the round is definitely Lightning versus Mavs. It's up on the Sunshine Coast. I think this is really going to set. Either one needs to have a great game and also have a convincing win to actually show that they are really in that top 4 this year for me. So like whether the Mavs can get the scalp of the Lightning, which I feel is a bigger one rather than the Lightning getting the Mavs, because Lightning have always seemed to have that edge a little bit over the Mavs. But that is the game of the round. That is the one to absolutely tune in to watch. You and I are having a week off, which I'm so excited about. You don't have to get on the road, which is great. Now, we didn't do team of the round this week, but I would like to introduce 2 little sections next week. I'd love to welcome back a little local legend. So local netball has just started back. Would love to get some teams on board. Would love for you to showcase what you're enjoying, whether it's a TikTok, showing some of the local legends that we have on our courts. It's all part of our netball pathway. And the other one is Minute with Maddie. Now, I used to do this and it used to go for 45 minutes because it was never ever a minute. I always had an essay to say. But I'm going to keep it to a minute. I'm going to do some questions with some SSM players. We're going to put them in a bit of a quick fire session. So 2 sections coming next week. So stay tuned. But that's a wrap from us. Go and enjoy your netball this weekend. Good luck to everyone. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.